Captain on the bridge.
Alright, captains, we are back on the bridge, and today, yes, finally, we've unlocked Baby V'ger from the 13th anniversary event. Captains, before we get into this video, do us a favor, like it, and also subscribe here to the YouTube Bridge, as we're always looking for like-minded captains where we can share our love for not only Star Trek Online, but Star Trek. So, with that out of the way, here we go. And again, I will say one more time, yes! So I will say that this has been quite an interesting reward to work towards. I say that because this is obviously not a ship that I sort of can really connect with in terms of design or anything like that. And it's even actually compared to another ship in another genre, in another IP that I'm not too familiar with. Now, having said that, it being the somewhat only way that we can get a V'ger-ish-esque ship, I have to say it has just been putting a smile on my face. So we, of course, recently unlocked this just by doing our daily every day since the event started, and yes, we now have our very own Baby V'ger. Now, this again is kind of blowing my mind that we have a ship like this. And I said this before, leading up to the 13th anniversary, that this was some sort of a left field type of ship decision, because I was really expecting another Alliance ship. But this is what we got, and I'd have to say it's nice to have, and it's great to add to the collection. So we'll kind of go over it quickly here now that we have it on hand visually. And this is what we're going to focus on here, is this awesome thing that they did here for the, I'm not sure if you want to call it the deflector or the eye, whatever have you, but when you look inside it, it really looks trippy when you do that. And they were lovingly talking about this on stream, that they were really proud of that, and it really does add to the immersion, having that extra touch there that is really kind of giving it that whole otherworldly alien technology type vibe, which is awesome. Of course, you have all the sort of plasma animation happening there, which is awesome. So again, this is not a small ship. This is pretty massive. It is almost as wide or wider than the J, and of course is just more just massive than it. So there it is, the front of the ship, and quite the interesting. I said this before. For me, design-wise, I think that this lower fin here, I think would have been better at the top, but that's just me. And or maybe have this shorter, and then have another piece coming up there to make it a little different. But it is what it is. Now we go to the aft of the ship, and to my Transformers fans, who does that remind you of? Does that remind you of a certain Shockwave? It does me. Look at this. We have now a Shockwave Transformer-esque looking ship in game. No, we don't. But again, we're going to go over the detail here that they did, and it's just awesome. The animation that they did here, the work that they put in here, really does make up for the fact that it wasn't an Alliance ship, and we have this. But having said that, I do hope we actually get more of the Alliance ships. But again, more of the plasma animation there, and then you have the eye kind of deflector piece still there. It would have been nice if it had some sort of also animation back there, but again, you can't really ask too much. Now, I did not see this in the intro video. It even has these plasma animations all over the ship here. So I really think that's kind of cool. I have it here on the, I guess I'm going to call it fins really right now. You see it kind of run all over the ship there. It's not on the bottom. That's fine. But again, you get the lens flare thing. Look at that, the lens flare. That's just cool. I like that. I really do, and I appreciate that. So, captains, we are going to show off the build that we put on this. But again, this is the Compiler Science Dreadnought, and it's the LLaP. I did not change that. That is what it comes. So what we're gonna do is go over the weapons, space set, console, space traits, DOF stations, and then take this into a Cure Advanced and see how it does. That is the one sort of show off place that we've been doing our pew-pews because it is sort of also has an objective to protect a ship. So we have to also take in consideration movement from point A, B to C and trying to protect the Kang. Now, a lot of people had mentioned that this is a very slow ship to turn. After flying it, I will say that I find it a little better in movement than the Enterprise J. And I'm not trying to take a shot at Enterprise J. I'm just saying I thought this was going to be a little bit more sluggish, but to my surprise, it wasn't that bad, in my opinion. So there's that. We're gonna go over the build here. So we're gonna 4 weapons. We have the heavy digitizer plasma torpedo launcher. Now, we had to do the featured episode Fujiwhara effect about 3 or 4 times to get enough weapon packs for not only a full complete set of the torpedoes, but also the beams, which we'll show here in my inventory. So we have our full sets of here. I even have dual beam banks here for future builds. And again, this is, you can get this for free. All you can do, you can get this for free. And I ran this on 3-4 different tunes, not only for the actual weapon packs, you get 4 of these at a time. So what we did at the beginning there of the event was do, for the daily progression, do one run, do the episode run, once per day on 3-4 different tunes to get the weapons, but also unlock the free lab coat you get from Dr. Beverly Crusher there, which is pretty cool. So first thing we did decide to do with this was a Torp build, and it does well. But here we go. Again, we got 4 of these. All I did to up these to Mark 15 was just use my Phoenix Tech upgrades. Not an upgrade weekend, but when I make this video, I just used it, and we got lucky twice here. So the first one actually went epic, so we re-rolled that to crit DM damage times 4. We went with another one here that went to ultra rare, and we got that to damage 4, and the other 2 here are just the very rare to damage times 3. So yes, full torps at the front. To me, it just makes more sense, in my opinion, because during the episode there, when we were doing Fujiwhara effect, V'ger wasn't shooting anything but torpedoes, so it just kind of made sense for a thematic build there. Base set, so we got the Elite Fleet Intervention Protomatter Deflector, which you get from your fleet colony. The Sec Def, we have the Deterring Secondary Deflector. We got this just from the exchange a long time ago. Prevailing Innovated Impulse Engines for the movement, of course, so that when we hit a firing mode, we get that extra boost of speed, which I think really did help. And then to finish it off, we have the Mycelial Harmonic Matter Antimatter Core and Tilly's Review Pending Modified Shield, both from the Discovery Rep. For aft weapons, this is what we did. We went with 2 Thoron infused Quantum Mine Launchers, both reroll to damage times 4 DM. That's from your Delta the Lithium Rep Store. And then we added one of these big booms here, the Elite Fleet Drenor Tri-Cobalt Mine, which does hit pretty hard and can hit you pretty hard, so be careful with that, Caps. This is also from your fleet colony. Devices, we went with, of course, our Torp Candy, which gives us plus 30% bonus projectile damage. Of course, to help our movement is the Deuterium Surplus. To be honest, I haven't been using it, but it's there if I need it, just in case. Then to finish off the devices, we have the Kobe Yashimaru Transponder for its buff goodness. Now for our console, this is what we got. The Bio-Neural Infusion Circuits. Of course, this is from the Lobi store for its plus 26.2 crit severity. And also it's going to give us a little bit more hull as well, and some control expertise. We got the Point Defense Bombardment Warhead, which is from any version of the NX. So plus 25% projectile damage, plus its cute 1% crit chance. And then of course we are pairing it with the Dynamic Power Redistributing Module for its plus 11.3 all damage resistance rating, plus 19% directed energy damage, and of course all the clicky goodness that comes with it, because when you click it for 20 seconds you get plus 40% bonus damage while above 80% hull, plus 100 bonus damage resistance rating, and then plus 500% hull regen. Now the two-piece of this, of course, we like to use on our energy builds, but really we just use these two because they're really useful. Doesn't really help us a lot because it does give plasma damage, but for only directed energy damage. But if it does contribute in some way to the plasma damage, torpedoes, and or the other effects it has, great. If not, that's okay. It still did fine in our opinion. Next up, we got the volatile digitization matrix. This is the console that comes with the ship. It's 20% power transfer rate, plus 28.5 starship exotic particle generator, and plus 5% shield hit points. That's cute. So now what this does is it transforms into digitizer probes, heavy plasma damage. So to transform itself into a digitizer probe for up to 20 seconds. Weapons and abilities are disabled, plus 400% flight speed and turn rate. We're going to get back to that in a sec. And then 3,435.4 plasma damage to foes within 5 clicks. When transformation ends, additional 28,188.5 plasma damage to foes within 5 clicks. After 5 seconds, create 4 digitizer probes which travel outward, dealing 3,435.4 plasma damage to foes within 5 clicks. Digitizer probes detonate after 12 seconds, dealing additional 28,188.5 plasma damage to foes within 5 clicks. Now, I've used this a little bit already, and I think it's situational for me, but it can move you across the map. And also, again, this ship does need a little help moving across the map. And let's not forget, it's a little fun. So obviously, if you're not having fun, then I think you're doing it wrong. Next up, we have the ferrofluid hydraulic assembly, which is from your Terran rep. We're using it, of course, for the minus 0.5 second shared torpedo recharge time. Then we have the ordnance accelerator from your gamma rep, or minus 1.5 second shared mine recharge time, plus 20% mine recharge speed, plus 26.3% projectile weapon damage. So that's going to help quite a lot when it comes to our torp and mine pew-pews. Next up, we do have the emulating phaser lance. The phaser damage is not helping us, but it does give us plus 43.8 starship shield pen. Improves shield penetration for starship weapons. So this, of course, is from the Deimos pilot destroyer, which you can get in your event reward. And this was the first one we got after the first year. And we're going to go to one of my favorite consoles, of course, the opening salvo from the Titan, for plus 21.4 starship exotic particle generator, plus 21.4 starship weapon specialization, improves critical hit chance with weapons, and of course when we fire this, it fires quantum torps that takes the shields down of your targets. So we always like that. Next up, we have the Tricobalt Tear Launcher from the Tier 6 Appalachia Blockade Runner, aka the Steam Runner. Gives us 19% mine and torpedo damage, and plus 47.5 starship shield pen. So that's not bad. And yes, we're trying to go for the whole torp goodness spewing out in front of you thing, and that does help with that immersion. Next up, we do have the Swarmer Matrix. This does give plus 30% turn speed, flight speed, and damage for your hangar pets and targetable torpedoes, plus 50% projectile weapon damage. I believe these aren't targetable, but if they are, then it's going to help. To round off the consoles here, we have the multi-directional artillery barrage. For going back to this console here, the Swarmer Matrix, I just bought this off the exchange a long time ago. The last one again, multi-directional artillery barrage from the Smexy Lexi, aka the Lexington, from the 12th anniversary bundle. So plus 20% all damage with projectile weapons and plus 7.5% max hull capacity. And this also does a lot of pews in terms of the torps that it spits out. So their 360 kinetic barrage damage scales with targets, launches warheads in all directions, dealing 13,574.3 kinetic damage to foes, plus 25% bonus damage per arc with foes, plus 10% additional bonus damage per affected foe. And because it just looks cool, not gonna lie. And this also does have a pet hangar bay. It comes with the digital construct drone. Yes, I did not get the upgraded version of this because after this video, I may still fly this, but it's not going to be a ship that I main, let's say like the World Razor, the Sagan, or the Excel 2.0. So we're just going to use this one that comes with it. But it does have two digitizer plasma beam arrays, one digitizer plasma dual beam bank, one heavy plasma digitizer pro. And the abilities also include a sub, nucleonic pulse, beam overload 1, gravimetric conversion 1, and of course a digital impact, only possible when it's about to go pop. So yeah, we have that too as well. Now, our stats, we are at a crit chance of 32.8% and a crit severity of 178.2%. Now, I do have my Pandevers helping me, which I have ranked to 600, which I can fill out to 750, but I choose not to because we're still doing really fine in our nightly pew-pews, and really, it's nice to have, but it's not required. But this is helping us give a little bit of boost as well. There's that for our skills. This is kind of what we got going on, nothing too different. We got 28 points spent in TAC, 10 in Psi, and 8 in engineering. There's that, and then our specialization, intel primary and temporal secondary. For our traits, this is what we did. We went with a good day to die. We went with anchor this time because I'm going to try to keep her put once I get to my position. And I will say she does not drift as bad as a lot of larger ships. So I was quite surprised with that, which does help with anchor getting those stacks up right away. Self-modulating fire, resonating payload modification, hot pursuit, have superior projectile training, unconventional systems, Terran targeting systems, intelligent agent attaché, and the Boimler effect for our starship traits. And again, yes, I did not T6X the ship. As I explained before, this is not a ship that I'm going to be maining, so I would rather save that upgrade for a ship that I will fly more often and would want to optimize as best as I can, especially with the builds that we do here on the bridge. But this is what we went with. We have ETM, or Entwine Tactical Matrices, for our back-to-back Torp spreads, Universal Designs, for its crit chance and crit severities when we're activating Universal Consoles, the Ceaseless Momentum, and we are using the digital compilation trait that comes with the ship. So defeated foes create chasing plasma damage AoE. So I do see this, and it really does help. I've seen it help a lot. Actually, in the pew-pews that we did, I didn't realize that the damage it was doing to the enemies was not from my torpedoes, but from those foes that we defeated. So it was kind of cool, and of course, kind of goes with the build and sort of theme that we're going for here. Defeated foes transform into digitizer probes that chase foes for 15 seconds and deal 705 plasma damage per second to foes in 2.5 clicks. So that's pretty cute. And to keep going with the plasma sort of Torp theme going here, we went with rapid emitting armaments. Of course, we have to be careful so that we don't ourselves, because I could do that. So we just got to be careful and only manually activate that as opposed to put that in our spam bar. Space rep, this is what we're going on. got going on here? Precision, advanced targeting systems, omega kinetic shearing, torpedo pre-fire sequence. Again, there's bonus torp damage there because we like that, and Tyler duality to increase our hull, and that gives us an extra plus 5.3% crit chance. Not too bad. Active space reputation, nothing too different. Anti-time entanglement singularity, biomolecular shield generator, fourth challenge, tethered non-baryonic asteroid, and refracting tetryon cascade. Stations, left to right, top to bottom. This is what we decided to do with it. So we got Chemosite, Mine Dispersal Pattern Beta 1. Of course, there is our FA, Cannon Scatter Volley, and Attack Pattern Omega 1. I did this for the actual boost it gives. Now, the one trait that we actually may have to change right now that I realize that we don't have here, that we gave up, and we might have to do this on the fly caps, is maybe just stick in here a high yield torpedo. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna stick a high yield torpedo in there. Before the video, we actually had this trait with the Assault Formation Theta, but we just changed it, and actually, you know what? We forgot to change the actual power here, so we're gonna do that. We're gonna have a high yield 3 and now 2 torp spreads. So there you go. On the fly, this is how we do it. Next up, we have emergency power 2 engines. So again, with our movement, there's our tractor beam. So again, we got to be careful. Destabilizing resonance beam to help proc our sec def. Photonic shockwave, and I don't normally use gravity well, but since this is an alien ship, since this is a otherworldly type ship, we're gonna use it. And yes, it has this ability. I don't normally like using this because we never really see it as an ability in Star Trek on screen, but since we're going with the theme, we're gonna add that, and it's gonna help. It's gonna help us. Instructional analysis is next. That again, it will help proc the sec def. Heisenberg for Oncon proc, and of course, recursive shearing. So that is our stations there. Now we go to our dopes. This is our dopes. So we have 2 on the ground helping us in space. So Neil Falconer is going to help us with increased damage versus the Berg. Elder Malikatan, increased damage versus all. So these 2 ground offs are going to help us in space. And for our active space off roster, this is what we decided to do. Of course, emergency con officer to help recharge evasive maneuvers when we use emergency power to engines. Of course, again, to help with movement. And we have 3 different projectile weapons officer here. The first one is a chance to reduce the time to recharge mines. The second one, chance to stack crit severity buffs on firing torpedoes. And the third is a chance to reduce the time to recharge torpedoes. So I don't normally do 3 different types, but we're going to try it here because I want those torps firing as fast as possible. Glyrene, again, more increased damage versus the Berg. And then we have, I've been trying to say this name, Mathizva? Dizzy? Gravimetric scientist will give us a chance to create an aftershock gravity well when we use Gravwell. So there is the builds. I'm having fun with the ship. I'm not going to deny it. This is pretty fun to have, and we tweeted out on our Twitter feeds that we had a bunch of baby V'gers there on stream the other night, and it was pretty cool to see. And then comparing it to the regular ships that we've seen, like something recently like the World Razor, a Galaxy class, it's pretty big. This is a big ship. So again, what we're going to do is take it into an Cure Advance and see how it does. One of our goals is, of course, to try not to fail the objection there, which is to have the Kang take too much damage. But here we go. try this out. We're just going to do it under advance, like I mentioned. Bound, advance. So again, how we're going to do this TFO is we're going to start from the left. We're going to target that cube, get rid of all of that Borg there, then go shoot to the very far right. As we do so, take care of the ships heading towards the Kang, clear out the right side, and then go to the center, and then tell Kang to get out of there. So here we go. And yes, the card's with us. Okay, always remember that. Just because he said, hey, can I go onto the bridge and try this new ship out? Sure, why not? You're the Admiral Picard. Speaking of Picard, that is coming out soon. So again, this is advanced. Captains, please keep in mind, we only do this for fun here on the bridge. Nothing too serious. We try to take anything too serious here. And this gets us through the content that we play nightly, especially with our fellow captains. So again, you always have to just do your best to synergize your build so that you can, one, have fun, which is first and foremost the most important thing.
Engage.
And secondly, again, get through whatever content you play. But here we go. I'm gonna try to get mines out first. Come in there. This thing's a massive ship. So mines. Of course, we get Kobayashi Maru out there. I'm gonna go out here. Get that out there. Then, boom. Get rid of that first. Cube there. And then we're going to try to just get rid of these. We might have to double back. That's fine because we don't want the tanks to take too much damage here. Get rid of these. Put this on the spam bar so that can help there. Oh. These guys here, because they're unpicked. Ship there. Tank's still doing okay. So see, now the whole side there got cleared. Again, we're going to use our movement here to help us. We did leave a lot of things out there on the side there, but look, it turned that into a drone there because of that trait. Now we're going to take care of the right side here. Bring everything in here as best as we can. Keep our range. There goes the cube. I mean, it takes care of the cube pretty well enough, in my opinion. You always kind of get a feel of your builds and how well they do, and Cure has been giving me a good idea, depending how fast I can take down the cube there. So here, we're going to use this for fun. We're going to use that console again like we did at the beginning. Turn into a probe and fly. Look at this. You can't tell me that I can't fly like a Borg sphere. Just saying. We're doing some damage to them, but we'll get out of here. 2.5 clicks, boom. Take them out, back out, just in case. Take out the last group here. Relocate our mines. Opening salvo. Take some candy, sensor analysis here, why not? And there goes the cube again. Echo little tear launcher. And a little closer here. Some more damage there.
Target's shield
And as you can see there, my plasma digitizer probes are seeking out things there, and that's what actually cleared the other side there. So as you can see here, we left here with a bunch of those probes underneath here, but it's gone. And there you go, we cleared it. I think the Kang took a couple shots, but according to this, the health is still 100%. So we can tell the Kang to get out of here. Now we just have to take care of this last group. Still buff up here, get stuff ready. And there she is.
Warning. Ship is under attack.
A lot of Torp goodness happening there. There you go. There you go. Caps, that is how Baby V'ger did in that TFO. Again, I'm going to add this here before we warp out here. Excuse me, sir. When they say that we can't fly Borg cubes and or spheres, this is now a sphere. And again, I'd mentioned this before.
Warning. Ship is under attack.
Just put a trail on it, then we'll know which direction we're going. I fly this no problem. You can almost imagine this being a Borg sphere right there. But I'm just throwing that out there. And I think that's pretty cool. Again, an otherworldly alien type technology that we have access to. So, look at that. Baby V'ger laid waste to the Borg. Of course, why wouldn't it? So let's leave the map here and then give our final conclusions there about the ship. But captains, we did that one okay. We had to kind of double back a little bit on the ships, but we finished it just fine. And again, I built this to get through our nightly pew-pews that we do here. And will this do fine elite? Sure. If you have a group of fellow captains, which is one of the recommendations that we have always, is find a group of like-minded captains where you can pew-pew and you can get through any content, and we do. We can do elite if we wanted to, and I'm pretty sure we can get we can get a group of 5 Baby V'gers and get through elite content. But there you go, captains. As you can see, it was something really fun to put together and think about what we're going to do, and I think it came together well enough for us. And hopefully, captains, you were able to get the ship and to try it out. I'm happy to have this in the fleet. I'm happy to have it in our collection. And though a left field kind of left ball, you know, sort of out of the nowhere type ship to give us, I appreciate it. Would like to take this opportunity to thank the devs for the great work that they did on this ship, because it really shows the details that they paid attention to. And for the most part, this is really something that will stand out in terms of event rewards. And we just got this for free just for doing our 13th anniversary event daily. So there you go, caps. Again, like the video, let us know in the comments below how you built the ship, if you like it, and of course, if you actually created a theme tune around this. And of course, subscribe here to the YouTube Bridge, and we will leave it on this note.
Don't let them promote you. Don't let them transfer you. Don't let them do anything that takes you off the bridge of that ship, because while you're there, you can make a difference.